Susan! Susan, it looks great in here. I appreciate all the cleaning. I know. It got crazy on Saturday. I know, it was a big mess. But you, look at this place. Look at this place. You've done so well cleaning up. What do you mean? Stormy was throwing around the friggin' jack-o'-lanterns like he was the hobgoblin? You want a raise? Look, Susan, you've always wanted a raise. Okay? Why don't you join the ITSA, whatever? Seems like they get it done. What do you mean they didn't actually reach a deal? Look, I'm just trying to say you did a good job. Whoa, hello, whoa, NERDVENGERS! What's up? Welcome, it's a Monday, baby. Monday show, Monday stream, always a good time here. On a Monday show, sets the tone, sets the pace for the week. Yes, it got pretty freaking wild in the tower on Saturday. DC Fandome. A lot of feelings, a lot of aggression. At some point, people were flinging around poop like a parade of monkeys or something. We're going to get into all of that and more. It's going to be a good show today. I've decided I'm going to get hyped up for Black Adam. So we're going to talk about Black Adam. We're going to talk about how Deadpool 3 is delayed because Ryan Reynolds needs just a break, man. He just needs to chill and go make Mint Mobile and stuff. We're also going to talk about this strike. Are they striking? Are they not striking? People are reporting that there is no strike. Other people are reporting. What the hell, man? We didn't get anything we asked for in this deal. We're going to break it all down. Meet me in the research wing. I'll see you soon. I tell you what, NERDVENGERS. I tell you what. It was a wild weekend, man. It was a wild weekend, you know? I definitely want to talk about some of the DC Fandome stuff. A lot of mixed feelings. about DC Fandome. And in all seriousness, we will be breaking that down, talking not only about that today, but if you are a NERDVENGER member, which I see many of you beautiful people in chat, as I always do, come on by at 1 p.m., man. At 1 p.m. today, we will be doing a NERDVENGERS behind-the-scenes stream, as we usually do. And in this one, I want to specifically talk about, you know, just making sure we're all on the same page, you know? Making sure nobody's all that upset about what went down on Saturday, just how we feel about these different things. And we want to definitely make sure that the NERDVENGERS, as a group, we're going to huddle. We're going to huddle together. And we're going to make sure everybody feels good and loved and I basically, look, man, I got to be able to talk my shit on DC. That's what it is. I need to be able to talk my shit. I know. Sometimes I go too far. I know. Sometimes I go too hard in the paint. But it's all love, baby. It's all love. On a serious note, Saturday, I know it got wild. Like, trust me, it got wild, bro. Like, just absolutely wild. Where it was like, it was hard for me to know, like, what was more toxic. The chats out there that were on, like, the IGN thing and the thing, or our own Discord chat. I was like, holy shit, bro, it's going there. And then I took I put that meme, and I love this meme, bro. This GIF is the gift that keeps on giving from Snyder's Justice League, where it says, it's toxic. Good. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing. In all seriousness, and I know some of you DC fans were upset at just how hard we were going and how much we were clowning. But here's the deal. Stevie. So here's the deal. How do you think Snyder fans are supposed to feel? Like, in all seriousness, you know what I mean? Like, we're not going to go there. This isn't like therapy, sit on the couch. Like, let's talk about all of our feelings and shit. But in all seriousness, how are you supposed to feel as a Snyder fan, bro? You know what I mean? Like, as a Snyder fan, and I really think the juxtaposition of last year's DC fandom versus this year's DC fandom, very different. Very different vibe. And so I found myself, coming in with a lot of hope, a lot of possibility. And then as the thing went on, I was like, man, this is super weird, super cringe, all over the place, with a few shining pieces of content and proposed things coming for movies and whatnot. So we will be talking about the more positive aspects of what happened, including the movie that I've decided to get hyped up on. And that will be Black Adam. Black Adam, I decided. I was like, you know what? It's time. I've been on the fence about this movie. I never do that, by the way. I'm never on the fence about anything. But I've been on the fence about this movie. I wasn't necessarily blown away by what I saw. However, I've decided to get super hyped up for Black Adam. And I want to go over some of the cool things that were in that trailer, what some of it might mean, and talk about what I think The Rock's plan for this whole thing might be. And it does have to do with Superman. I think Henry Cavill and Rock are good friends. They're both represented. I believe Cavill is represented by the agency, the same agency that Rock is. And there's a lot of good stuff going on between them there, okay? A lot of good stuff going on between those two dudes, and so it is possible, there is still hope that we will be getting some Superman and Black Adam stuff going on, okay? So, let's start here. Do me a favor and smash the freaking like button on this video. Oh, I also want to say, a little bit later in the show, probably a little bit after 11, we're going to be reviewing some memes on the BBS website, and I'm going to be, purchasing people's memes, helping get some coins circulating on the BBS website. If you have not gone to thedenofnerds.com and made up an account, man, you got to do it. You got to do it. Get over there. Check it out. It's a really fun website. The engagement's super fun. You can make a little bit of muchas grandes dineros. Okay? Yeah, whatever. You just get over there. Just do the thing. Okay, let's talk about this. This guy, Ryan Reynolds. It actually came out a couple of days ago, but it's a pretty interesting story, and I wanted to start here today. He announced on Instagrams that he has taken a sabbatical from making movies. Okay, so if we look down here, it's pretty interesting. He said, perfect time for a little sabbatical from movie making. I'm going to miss every second working with this obscenely gifted group of creators and artists. These days, kindness matters as much as talent. I've been lucky to work with folks who are flush with both. Okay, super cool. Now, in the comments of this, his wife, and I love the back and forth between Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Super fun. They're positive forces in the world. I admire them both. Reynolds' wife said Michael Caine did it first, which is a reference to this whole crazy thing that happened about how people thought Michael Caine was retiring from filmmaking, and there was a really funny story there of him tweeting I am not retired, just so everybody knows, and fun stuff like that. Okay, so at a base level here, he's taking a little break. Okay, now this does mean that Deadpool 3 will be delayed, but the truth is we didn't really have a date for Deadpool 3 at all. I think the last that we heard about this, Feige had said, Ryan is working with the team, and we are absolutely going to be doing that, and they have a great story, and they're doing a lot of work. I guess without specific updates to what that writing process is like, you could say perhaps that process in and of itself will be put on hold. Perhaps not. Perhaps they'll be able to work without Ryan. Or maybe that's not even what he means when he says taking a sabbatical from movie making. I think, though, and a lot of people pointed this out on social media posts all over the internet when this story broke. I think the idea here is that this dude has been working incredibly hard all through the pandy and this year as well. He's just been grinding, working really, really hard. And so it just makes perfect sense to me that he would take a little bit of a moment and have a break. It also reminds me, oddly enough, of something that Tom Holland said where he said, I want to take a break, or I need, some time away after this Spider-Man movie, right? And so Tom Holland is, I think, currently doing, or perhaps already shot the Uncharted movie. And he has also just been working like a madman, all through the pandy and all through this situation. And Tom, in many ways, just from a branding perspective or the perspective of his team, has been working very hard since late 2019, trying to figure this whole thing out with Marvel and Sony and doing the Spider-Man thing. And I don't know, I just thought it was an interesting place to sort of start today's show, because, we're going to get into the stuff of the strike, and we're going to get into all these things. And I think it's just interesting. We think a lot about Hollywood people and actors, and we put them on a certain pedestal, or we don't actually care as much about their time or well-being in some ways, because we're like, oh, but they make millions of dollars, et cetera, et cetera. But I think that a lot of these people, man, it's like a football player. Like, you strike while the iron is hot. And yeah, a lot of football players make a ton of money, but the average player on an NFL roster only makes like $60,000 a year, right? Because there's a lot of positions on that 53-man roster that are way lower than the big $1 million, market cap pushing salaries. And you do have to strike while the iron is hot, and you do have to do a bunch of work while your brand is popping. But at the same time, there's sort of this reinvestigation, I think, happening right now with all, not just media, but jobs and work-life balance and all these different things. We're reinvestigating in many ways what this looks like and what we should be doing. And I say good on you. You know what I mean? To Ryan and Bob's your uncle, like, take your time and come back when you're refreshed and do the good work. I wish as a society we were a little bit more forgiving of these sort of things and understanding. Maybe you are, maybe you are not. The other aspect of this story that I wanted to touch on here in my notes is that it strangely also aligns with the remarks that Rob Liefeld had made about how the plan for Deadpool 3 was like 5 years out. Now, some of us, when some of the buzz was picking up, right, when we knew they were working on the thing with the writers, there was all sorts of things. We've covered it all, man. We're like, ooh, you know how we do the NERDVENGERS. We try not to miss a beat. So we covered everything. We covered all the different aspects of it. And we were starting to get hyped up that it was possible that you would see Deadpool 3 before that 5-year period, that they could just bloop, put him in somewhere, put him in, coach. I wonder if the plan is a little bit more established from Feige's perspective, and he's like, almost no matter what, you're really not going to be slid in until this moment, which could have fed into the decision making to sort of take this break or take this time away. I don't know. Regardless, it's a pretty interesting story to me. Deadpool 3 delayed, and technically it is delayed indefinitely. That doesn't mean forever. It just means we don't know. You know what I mean? Like, we frankly don't know when it will come back into production. So, feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments or in the live chat here, and perhaps later on in the show when we get into Q&A, we can talk about that a little bit more in depth, right? Like, what exactly you think about that. Now, let's go into the strike. Let's talk about the strike. Now, this is pretty wild to me, man. This is pretty wild. Mixed messages coming out of Hollywood with regards to this strike. You know what I mean? With regards to this strike. Let me pop out the chat here, though, so I can take a look at all the fun things everybody's saying. Pop it out. Uh-oh. Yeah. I see some juice in there. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate all the support. I'm gonna touch this members thing first, because they will pretty much disappear from my. Oh, actually, it did pop up. Cool. Well, I'll just touch on it anyway. He says, "Hey, this is Mike Snow. Says, hey, 6 months official. There was a disturbance in the force during fandom. Pretty sure it was a lack of Snyderverse. Hey, look, man, I agree, and I know some of you guys are like, I'm freaking tired of these Snyder bros. And I get it. How do we work together? How can we come together, find common ground and understanding? I don't know. But all I can really just tell you is how I feel. And how I feel is like, not good enough, DC. That's how I feel, but we'll get into more of that later, okay? We'll get into more of that later. So, is the strike going to happen or not? It was reported, I think even late Friday, that a deal was reached. Crazy, crazy stuff. You know, all this potential shutdown, all this stuff that's bad, you know, bad. It's wrong. It was all going to be avoided. That there was a deal reached. Okay, so let's read this article, and then I want to read a different article about how their leadership let them down. And I also want to show you what Twitter thinks. You know what I mean? Because you look at Twitter, man, there's some people pretty pissed. There's some people pretty pissed. Alexandria Ocasio, AOC. She has something to say as well. But first, let's get into this. Exclusive. With Hollywood on edge and picket signs at the ready, the IATSE and the AMPTP. Anyway, I don't know if I could do that. Just over and over, like read those acronyms. Can we call them something different? You know what I mean? Okay. Anyway, the new they've reached an agreement avoiding the threatened nationwide strike. A new 3-year contract, which must now be ratified by the union's members, comes just hours before the deadline, midnight Sunday. Imposed by IATSE President Matthew Loeb, the union and the Carol Lamborghini-led AMPTP are expected to make an agreement public very shortly. So, what is this report really? You know what I mean? Like, this is kind of interesting. Like, think about what this is. Hollywood trade. Yeah, and we talk about this all the time. You know, look, we don't hate the players. I don't even really hate the game, but it's obvious. The trades exist in many ways as a mouthpiece for Hollywood elite. Let's keep going. They're reporting that the deal's about to happen, kind of making it seem like, hey, we're all good. The deal has been reached. Don't worry. You'll still get your movies. The new 3-year contract, which must now be ratified by the unions, blah, 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 blah. It took a lot to get here, but this is a good deal. A fair deal for everyone concerned. An individual close to the sometimes strained negotiations told Deadline. Once all the final contract language was agreed on Saturday, time to break out the cigars, the individual added. Let's just stop here for just a moment. Put a 1 into the chat if you think this person, this unnamed source here that said break out the cigars, put a 1 into the chat if you believe that person is representing the IATSE side, the workers. Put a 2 into the chat if you think this unnamed source is coming more on the side of the studios and leadership and the AMPTP. Somebody put a 7 in there. You're gonna need a little more coffee. You're gonna need just a little bit more coffee. That went now -90. What the hell? Look at those 2s, baby. Look at those 2s, baby. That's why I always say the NERDVENGERS, smartest community out there on the internet. This is a Hollywood ending, Loeb says. Our members stood firm. They're tough and united. We went toe-to-toe with some of the richest and most powerful entertainment and tech companies in the world. And we have now reached an agreement with AMPTP that meets our members' needs. Solidarity is more than a word, he added. Ugh, God, it doesn't even... Anyway, it's the way to get things done. Our members will see significant improvements, but our employers will also benefit. Vice President of the Motion Picture Director for IATSE says this settlement allows pre-production, production, and post-production to continue without interruption. Workers should have improved morale and be more alert. Health and safety standards have been upgraded. The deal for the new contract, called the Basic Agreement, is now in the books, but negotiations with AMPTP will continue for the members who work under similar agreement standards, such as New Mexico, New York, blah, 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 blah. More details are to come, but the deal points include improved wages and working conditions for streaming. 10-hour turnaround time between shifts. MLK Day is now a holiday. Diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. Increased funding for health and pension plans to a 3% rate increase every year for the duration of the yet-to-be-determined contract, among other changes. The AMPTP had wanted to settle the rate increase at around 3% for the first year and then shift it down to 2.5% or even less for the subsequent years of the contract. With many larger issues resolved late this week, today's talks saw the members blah, 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 blah. Hang on, I'm trying to get to like what is actually in the deal. What is actually in the deal? Okay, so it doesn't exactly tell us what is in this deal, right? But we can kind of see what's happening here. You know what I mean? This report is out there. And then there's kind of another part of the story, another side of the story here. It's kind of an interesting thing. You know what I mean? It's kind of interesting. Let's read this. The IATSE deal could be rejected by members. Our leaders let us down. Many members of the IATSE say they will vote against ratifying the new contract with the major studios because it doesn't do enough addressing working conditions. The deal, announced Saturday afternoon, averts a strike that would have shut down film and TV production nationwide starting on Monday morning. But in interviews with Online Chatter, many workers have expressed frustration with the terms. They said they will expect it to be rejected. Basically, nothing has changed, said Enisto Lameli, a director of photography based in Los Angeles. I have not heard a single person saying they will vote yes. A ratification vote will likely not be held for several weeks, as lawyers will have to translate the deal points into contract language. In the meantime, work will proceed as normal on film and TV sets. The tentative agreement provides a 54-hour weekend, and a 10-hour turnaround time between shifts. I think that's work week, is that supposed to be? Between shifts for all workers on all productions. Some were hoping for more than 10 hours, as well as other wage and residual provisions that are not in the deal. From what I understand, no streaming residuals. No streaming residuals. Nada. But they also wanted to make a broader point about conditions on set, which many find to be inhumane and unsustainable. We wanted to send a message that things needed to actually change, said Rowan Byers, a Dolly Grip with that union. The 10-hour turnarounds, that's the same shit that's already in my contract. Why would I be excited about that? Dude, that's kind of fair. Like, if that's already in there, why would you be excited about it? You know what I mean? The International Alliance of Theater Stage Employees represents 60,000 people around the country. Some of the details have not been officially released, and many members contacted Sunday said they would wait for more information before offering an opinion. But others have said underwhelmed what has been given so far. Overall, this is very disheartening, says this guy. I do think it will be rejected. The membership rallied for an unprecedented strike authorization vote earlier this month, which passed at a nearly 99% support. The vote became part of the broad narrative labor unrest this fall, along with strikes like Kellogg and John Deere. Many believe they were not using authorization. The IATS leadership squandered a historic opportunity. This is one time we, as organized labor in Hollywood, had the ability to take a stance and make a change. We had the potential to shut down production. In general, I feel like our leadership has let us down. And if you look on Twitter, right, it really does look like a lot of the discourse on this, like, you're seeing like kind of two different things. You know, like a lot of what I would say sort of, studio mouthpiecing, borderline propaganda. People are saying like the deal's done, it's all Gucci. What a historic opportunity, we got it all done. But if you look at like what a lot of people are saying, You know what I mean? A lot of people are saying nobody's happy about this, right? No cigars to be had here. They just put a Band-Aid on it. I've read my many crew posts. They are not happy and leading towards a no vote. Streaming not addressed. That's a huge issue. 3% is laughable, right? And so all I can really say, oh shit, this post looks dope. Somebody go like this post. I don't know what to tell you guys. It seems like from my perspective here, there's no strike going on today, and something was done, but that it may not be completely over yet, right? There's a ratification process. Hopefully it gets settled and more of a good arrangement can be found for these folks and these unions, right? But it kind of seems like, to me, just from my outside, sweaty nerd, third floor basement, like doesn't have sources, below average IQ perspective, it seems like even potentially the leadership of this union kind of bent to the powers that be. And they sort of just rolled over. You know what I mean? In a lot of different ways. So we'll keep an eye on it, guys. I think the best and most honest reporting that I can do for you right now is that it is being reported that the deal is Gucci, that it is signed, and that we are all good, that there will not be any delays. But I cannot ignore the sort of undercurrent and the perspective of a lot of folks out there that are not happy with this, and the possibility that they will strike. You know what I mean? So we shall see. We shall see. And of course, let me know whatever questions, thoughts, concerns that you have about that. We will get into more of that towards the end of the show when we get into Q&A. Okay, so there's one more thing that I want to talk about today. It's a lot more positive and fun than this. And I want to talk about The Rock, and I want to talk about Black Adam, right? And I'm sure we'll get into some of this, more at the end of the show, and then perhaps even in streams to come and everything like that. But, the honest to goodness truth was the Black Adam presentation and the whole Black Adam movie is one of the shining parts of DC. You know what I mean? Like, the DC fandom, to me, only had a couple of really redeeming things, and The Rock and Black Adam was one of them. Let me just ask you this. Let's do a poll. I'm interested. Let's see what you say. Did the Black Adam portion of DC Fandome get you hyped for the movie? I want to know. I want to know what you think. I want to know what you think, NERDVENGERS. Let me know. Where are you at with it? Oh yeah, and please smash the like button on this video. That's pretty important as well. I liked 8 things. I'm editing my video now. Oh, thanks. Thanks, man. Thanks. Hawkman, Dr. Fate, hell yeah. No, for sure. I will tell you, between the behind-the-scenes footage, which shows a lot of like scale for the film, the potential and how crazy it could be, I'm into it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really into it. If I'm being completely honest, even though I think the little intro scene deal is fun and actually teases out something pretty crazy, which we're going to get into right now, it wasn't like the coolest to me. You know what I mean? Like, I still want a little bit more. I hope it looks a little bit cleaner. One of the things we pointed out on the stream on Saturday was there is a portion where when Rock goes to grab that guy that he ends up electrocuting, that they like skip some frames out of it, which shows his super speed off really, really well. And it's something you miss when you just first watch it, but go back and watch it. It reminds me a lot of in Man of Steel, where Zach would take out frames to show the super speed and stuff and just how crazy that can be. So that was really, really cool. And of course, like electrocuting that dude into disintegration was dope. You know what I mean? But, you know, it wasn't like I was expecting a little bit more. You know what I mean? But go figure. Josh Lucas expects a little bit more. However, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. This crown. And I hope we got some DC buffs in here because I'm going to need a little help here, okay? Apparently, this may well be the crown of Sabak. Not the game that they play in the Star Wars universe, but instead a demon-y type figure. Correct me if I'm wrong. Help me out, DC fans. The crown of Sabak. Let's talk about this. The first Black Adam teaser, by the way, I'm on Murphy'sMultiverse.com. We like Charles Murphy over here and his website. The first Black Adam teaser was pretty fantastic, particularly a scene in which the fallen champion himself, is set free from his centuries-long imprisonment at the hands of the wizard Shazam. Before he is set free, both Sarah Sahi and Marwan Kenzari can be seen. Sahi, who plays Adriana Tomez, is the one who sets Adam free by reciting the hieroglyphics and saying, Shazam! But just before that, we can see an ancient-looking crown floating above Adam's tomb, one that may just be the crown of Sabak. No, we're not going to get the copyright strike. That would be insane. We're not watching the footage, so. Anyway. Rumors began a while back that Marwan Kenzari was cast as Ishmael, who would don the crown of Sabak, which would give the abilities of the 7 kings of hell. The character seems to have gotten a bit of a makeover, with the character foregoing his Russian roots and adopting an Egyptian heritage as the descendant of a pharaoh, whose story ties directly to Adam's. Let's check this out. So, Marwan Kenzari eyed to play Sabak in Black Adam. Okay, so let's see here. It's been reported they have their eyes on him to play the main antagonist, Sabak. The villain had 3 different comic iterations over the years, but the film will focus on Ishmael Gregor. He is most well-known identity of Sabak for the few that read his short run. He was a Russian immigrant who made his way to New York, where he becomes a mob boss. Ishmael initiates a demonic ritual in which he sacrifices many innocent people to gain the powers of Sabak. This is actually an acronym for the 6 that gives him his power: Satan, Aum, Baal, Buzzlebee, Ozymandias, and Mephisto. No, it's Krates. That's quite similar to how Shazam's name works in the comic, which derives from 6 immortal elders: Solomon, Hercules, Atlas, Zeus, Achilles, and Mercury. It seems highly likely that they would be combining some elements for the film. It seems they are changing his powers, though, as Illuminati pointed out that there will be a crown of Sabak. This may help them push a PG rating instead of going into the satanic origins of the character's abilities. Casting of Kenzari also moves away from the character's Russian background, as he is described as a descendant of a murdered pharaoh. So this could connect him to Adam's past. Okay. Dude, to me, that sounds pretty dope. Okay, to me, that sounds pretty freaking cool. Like, the idea of having a dude that's descendant of a pharaoh that may well have actually had some interaction with Black Adam in the past, right? Super wild. Like, that seems really, really fun. And I also love the idea of, like, Black Adam being, because he's, you know, normally considered to be pretty villainous, and Black Adam murdered his descendants, says Trev. Okay, sounds pretty dope. Sounds pretty dope to me. So the idea that you would have a character with demonic powers and using a lot of that, like, sort of demonic stuff kind of makes sense as to why maybe Dr. Fate is there and it is involved, right? Also could explain why Hawkman is there and is involved, because Hawkman is immortal. Hawkman continues to be like remanifested, or he has like different lives. Like he'll look differently throughout time. He, you know, just will manifest throughout time. He always comes back in a different body in a different time, but it's always Hawkman, right? So I sort of love some of the context that, we're starting to pull together for this movie. And, when you think of, my mind always goes back to the old Brandon Fraser Mummy movies, man. Like, they have a good vibe. And I love that kind of stuff. Like Egyptian mythology, all that sort of stuff. Pharaohs, monsters, crazy fun storytelling. I'm a big fan of the supernatural as well. And it would kind of make sense. Like, how are you going to take a guy like Black Adam, who, he's all about conduct, but he's a dictator, really. You know what I mean? He's a lot like Doom in that way, where he's like a dictator, but he thinks he's doing it for the good of his people, etc., etc. But how do you take a character like that and make him heroic? Well, you have to have an even worse, crazy villain. And if they go this crazy demonic route of having, possibly a world-ending event or something like reincarnation, that's it. Yeah, thank you. Something like that. That is, to me, a pretty proper formula for an exciting story. So I'm pretty excited. I'm choosing to be hyped up for The Rock and Black Adam. The only thing that I can say is I hope he doesn't drop any bars on us, as I wasn't the biggest fan of The Rock's rap song. I know. Initiate dislike raid. Initiate everybody freaking the F out because I said I didn't like The Rock's rap song. And if The Rock was in the negotiations for the ATSE, he'd come in and slap the contracts out of their mouth and tell them they need to work for 24 hours straight. Everybody gets all mad at me for saying this kind of shit. Just get off my back. I'm trying it. I'm trying to get excited about the DC movie. I'm trying to get excited about The Rock. Anyway. Seems pretty cool. Let's talk about one other crazy aspect of this as well, okay? This is pretty fun. Look, man, why is Rock doing this? So FICO says, and I don't know who this guy is. FICO, film critic. Okay, he's a film critic. Awesome. This guy comes out and says, hey, Rock, it looks like Superman might be the only one to stop Black Adam. Nasty stuff. Looks great. Rock says, FICO, thank you, my friend. Remember, Superman's greatest weakness isn't kryptonite, it's magic. Trev, check him on that. Superman is weak to magic, 100%. But is he more weak to magic than he is kryptonite? I don't think so. But we'll wait for Trev's answer. Patrick's in all caps like, what do you mean his rap songs suck? Get out of here. No, hey, you know what? I'll just keep my opinions to myself from now on. I guess I won't just come out here and be honest, man. Superman is weak to magic like all humans are. Vulnerable, not weak. Yeah. What's up, Kendall? Kryptonite kills him. Yeah. So, I mean, look, Rock, I appreciate what you're doing here, but wrong. Black Adam's greatest superpower is magic. True. They both fly at light speed. They both are unstoppable forces, but only one would kill the other, and we know who that one is. That's true. But also, Henry Cavill has literally snapped necks and cashed checks. Not too many checks over at Warner Brothers recently, but he has done it in the past. Some people pointed out that this whole discussion of Superman versus Black Adam is something that Rock has talked about in the past. It's something I think a lot of fans would love to see. And, I think in many ways, he should be fighting Shazam. It's a little crazy that he's not just fighting Shazam, right? It's a little weird that those two are anyway. But I think the underlining thing here, and for a lot of fans, is the possibility that the long play here with Dwayne and with this film and franchise is that he wants a showdown with Superman. And, bruh, who doesn't? Who doesn't want that? That sounds dope. And of course, I want it to be Henry Cavill, and I'd be excited for it to be Henry Cavill. And there's some precedence for this because, again, these two... Remember the Instagram photo that they shot a couple of years back when they were both just sipping there talking about the future? Bro, I'm telling you, Rock wants Henry Cavill to be Superman, and he wants to fight against Henry Cavill. And look, we're talking about a lot of different things. We're talking about, Venom fighting... Spider-Man, setting that up. We just had Venom versus Carnage. These big, crazy matchups that people want to see, right? Like Morbius versus Blade. All these big things that as a comic book fan, you're like, yeah, man, I want to see this. Black Adam and Superman, absolutely. Absolutely, that's something we want to see. And I consider that there could be hope. And depending on how well this movie does, how much it resonates with fans, it could be good for the possibility of a Superman, but also potentially Henry Cavill Superman being the person that he would fight in the movie. So regardless, man, a lot of stuff to get excited for, in my opinion, for Black Adam. I liked it. I liked what I saw. I'm getting excited. I'm getting hyped up for it. Let's go. Let's go, Rock. Let's get it going. And yeah, so that's one of the highlights for DC Fandome for me. Of course, the Batman was fire, and I absolutely loved the trailer for the Batman. But even that movie, I still sort of have some questions, and I'm a little bit confused as to like what the future and the continuity is with all of that. But I think Black Adam and the possibility of like a dude like Rock being a big, not just a player in the DC universe, but somebody that can make moves behind the scenes would generally be good for fans. You know what I mean? Like I give The Rock like a hard time a little bit about the rap song and all that other stuff. But honestly, he's a branding machine. He takes care of his fan base. He really, really cares about the people that support him. And I think he has his finger on the pulse of what's going on. I mean, he can't be friends with Henry Cavill and not understand what is going on and how big of a win it would be for him and for fans if they got Henry Cavill Superman and The Rock Black Adam to tango. So that's where we'll leave it for now with the main content of the show. However, I want to pull up the BBS website, the Nerdy Token Vault. If you have not been to the Nerdy Token Vault, what the F are you doing? Get on over there. Make an account today. Start posting. Start engaging over there. And you can start earning yourself a little bit of moolah, baby. A little bit of crypto, baby. Who doesn't want to do all that kind of fun stuff? And honestly, the community is really going to be the way that this thing is taken forward. But one of the things that we're going to start doing is every Monday, I'm going to start reviewing memes that are made and posted on the BBS website. And I'm also going to be purchasing the posts. So you'll get to see a little bit of what this looks like as well. So let's see here. This one. Okay. I like this one. Destroyed one planet. Destroyed 5 planets. Destroyed an entire universe. I'm going to give it a little thumbs uppy there, and I'm also gonna purchase it. I'm gonna buy that post. Not necessarily the most creative meme, but one that's close to my heart. As I was blacklisted from Disney for talking a little bit of crap on Kathleen Kennedy. Okay, let's keep going. So here we go. Breaking news. Oh man! Instead of kryptonite, new LGBT Superman will be crippled by anyone using pronouns. Oh, you had to do it, didn't you, BOC? You had to do it. Look, I'm not going to give this a thumbs up because it's so controversial and you've just offended half of our audience. And it's definitely not funny. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for that one. 5 out of 10. Okay, let's check it. Let's check this one out. News of the week, Star Wars cats. Okay, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. And it's mostly because of this down here. That is, and this, you know what? 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. So I'm going to actually purchase that. How do I, lease the banner in the space I own, current top bid. I'm going to purchase it. I want to get to the point, and I have to learn more about this as well, but I'd like to purchase that at like a higher level. Like I'd almost like to spend more money on memes that I think are better, right? But I think this is fantastic. I'm going to give that I'm changing it to a 9 out of 10. I'm changing it to a 9 out of 10. This just looks, quite frankly, freaking dope as hell. And boop, give you a little dilly-dally there. By the way, when your post gets to 5 likes, I think you get 50 cents dropped to you as well. Every day you visit the BBS website, you're going to get 50 cents as well. So it's a fun little way to to do this. Oh, this looks super fun. This looks super fun. All right, let's get into this here. Choose your fighter. So we've got Normal Josh, is cool, nice guy. Nerdy, George Lucas's nephew, the best guy in nerdy business. Josh the Jedi, has cool saber. The only variant that doesn't hate Star Wars fans, has visible legs. Luigi Josh, 50% of movie bros, can summon theory, went to film school and never forgets to mention it. My man, did you guys know I went to film school? Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that? Okay, anyway. Uncle Sam Josh wants you to become a member today. Has very fashionable hair, sexy beard. Damn, thank you, dog. Thank you, dog. Boba Josh won't be beat by a blind man. Unlike Boba Fett, has 1,000 ways to kill his enemies. Cool hoodie. I like that. I agree with that. Diamond Lounge Josh, CEO of the NERDVENGERS Towers, has infinite amounts of nerd coin. Yes, and also some really nice bling. Sleeping Josh is asleep, probably watching DC Fandome. Amazing. Supreme Josh, most powerful variant, could defeat Supreme Strange. Literally no weaknesses. Nice. And then Josh Shillington over here complains about everything, hates Pattinson for no reason, just sucks in general. Oh my god, dude. Yo, this is definitely a buy. That is a buy right there. Look at the money rack rolling in on this post. That is some straight fire, my guy. Well done, sir. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. This is just kind of fun down here. Okay, this one's pretty good. Andre says, what if I told you you can like DC and Marvel? And they're all just like, yeah. Boom. I'll give that a nice like. And you know what? I'll buy this. I'll buy that from you. That's nice, man. Appreciate you. I'll give you a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 on this. Just kind of a fun post here. Oh, man, some fun Star Wars, Black Series stuff. This is pretty good. The TV remote, 10-year-old me. Oh, I already like this one. Yeah. I'll give this an 8 out of 10. Pretty good. I like nostalgic memes. Nostalgic memes usually do it for me. All right, let's check this one out. You fought in the Clone Wars? Yeah, that shit was lit. I fought a 4-arm robot and cut your father's legs off. I've seen this one before, but it's great. That's a 9 out of 10. That's a 9 out of 10. That is a fire meme, bruh. That's a good one right there. We'll do a couple more here. I loved this one. I thought this was really, really fun. This art is also fantastic, man. Love this. Did you actually draw this, Deadeyes? Did you actually draw this, bruh? It says original art by Deadeyes Art. That's sick. You got to hit me up, man. I'd love to do some work. Maybe we could do like a t-shirt together or some NFTs or something. You know, that was super cool, man. Me on this website. Yeah, dude, for sure. Sabbatical, that's super fun. Okay, this is one we'll leave off on. And I think this is awesome. This is hilarious because, yes, I did revisit WandaVision over the weekend. And I can talk about this a little bit. I'm going to be putting this into some videos as well in the next couple of days. But yeah, so this is kind of funny here, right? Like Prometheus says, Josh likes the Batman, Josh likes WandaVision, visible confusion, and the post title is what happened this weekend. You know, hilarious, dude. Like absolutely hilarious, and it's true. I was talking about in our Discord and just in general how to me the Batman was, I mean, it's just so good, bro. Like it's almost like the way I was talking my shit, right? And I was talking my shit. It was almost like I was challenging Matt Reeves, where I was like, bro, like I'm primed up and ready to go. I got the notepads out. I got the 6 monitors here. You know, I got all the variant. Josh is working on this as well. I'm gonna find every little bit of why this is not good. You know, if there's any flaws here, any cracks in the armor, just because of where I am at with it, and some of it's a little bit of a meme, but you know, that's the challenge. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna figure this out. Which, by the way, as I'm chatting about this, I'm gonna go back into the site, and if anybody bought all those memes again, I'm gonna go buy them back. So the truth, man. Yeah, Kendall. I'll talk about WandaVision in a second for sure. The truth is, like, it looks so good. Like, I just the film student in me, which I don't know if you guys know that I went to film school, right? So I went to film school. The film school nerd in me is so blown away by the cinematography, the performance, the lighting, the editing, the mise en scène of this Batman stuff. It's bruh. It's so good. It's so good, man. Like it's quite frankly amazing. You know what I mean? Like it's quite frankly amazing, and I'm really shocked and I'm really blown away at how good it's going to be. I think they have a massive hit on their hands. I think it's pretty obvious from DC's perspective, like why they're so confident in the film and why they're like green lighting more, you know, and talking about doing all these different series. It looks like a smash hit, bro. You know what I mean? Like it looks like a smash hit, and I'm really, really excited for it. Now, let me talk about WandaVision for a second. Because, you know, I was sort of teasing this out yesterday. I was talking about it on Twitter and whatnot. Yes, I revisited WandaVision. Elisa and I watched episode 8 and episode 9 of WandaVision yesterday morning, right? As we were, you know, just kind of chilling. And so here's the thing. Ultimately, there's a lot of stuff that I think with the context of like the rumors and the leaks for Multiverse of Madness, that's why I wanted to revisit it, right? Because there was a lot of stuff that I was confused about, and basically a lot of my confusion from back then is still persisting to this day. I have not revisited WandaVision since we watched it together all those many months ago. I have not revisited it. It left a really bad taste in my mouth the last episode, right? You guys remember. I had a meltdown. You know what I mean? I had a meltdown on there, and everyone was like, whoa, bro. I mean, I know. Yeah. Partially because of the boner. No way, James. Is that true? Let me check the tweeters on this. Marvel changed their release schedule. They've taken out 2 dates. They made major changes. Okay. Wow. This is pretty wild, huh? Okay, let's pause. Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news. We got to check this out. Let's check this out together. Okay? In a press release, we're over on murphysmultiverse.com. In a press release, Disney announced a slew of changes to their upcoming slate. I'll get back to the WandaVision stuff. Give me just a second. Including moving all of their upcoming Marvel Studios releases and removing 2 Marvel Studios dates from the schedule. Wow. Bruh. Okay. First up, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which was previously dated on 3/25/22, which I was so looking forward to. Oh, no. I was so looking forward to this. I was like, bro, next year's about to be lit. We were 6 months away. We were so close. Yep. Delayed to June, looks like. Okay. Previously dated there, it's moved to June. Thor, Love and Thunder, which was previously going to be in June, now moving into July. Or no, that's... Wait, what? Am I mixing my months up here? It's moving into July. What's the 5th month of the year? Why am I bad at things? July's the 7th month, right? Yeah, June. So it would have been May. Okay. Roger that. So Thor, Love and Thunder, pushed back. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, which was previously dated for July 8th, moves all the way to November? God damn! Untitled Indiana Jones. Who cares about that? Untitled Disney live action removed. Wow. The Marvels, which was bruh. The Marvels, which was previously dated for November of next year, moves all the way into February of 2023. Holy shit. Untitled Marvel, which was previously dated for 7/28/23, is removed from schedule. Untitled Marvel movie, which was previously 10/6/23, is removed from schedule. Holy shit. What? So what's the deal, Janelle? Why is this happening? See what Variety has to say here. Marvel fans prepare to wait a bit longer to see all the cool shit. Disney has delayed the release plans for several thingies, blah, 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 blah. That's it. They don't have nobody has an explanation. Nobody knows why. What? Nobody knows why. I mean, I guess it's breaking, yeah? So it might take a second for us to fully understand why, right? Wow. Okay. Bro, there could be a lot of things going on right now. This is why, like, we really are in sort of unprecedented time, right? And like, you think about just everything that's been happening, the tension in Hollywood, right? The tension around the world. A lot of really, I mean, we're at an impasse. You know what I mean? We are at an impasse in a lot of different ways. Yeah. So, WandaVision. Jedi Mike, thanks for bringing us back. Okay, let's talk WandaVision. My main complaint, and look, we're just going to have to keep our eye on this. Maybe we'll talk more about it tomorrow, guys. Maybe more information will matriculate out throughout the day. We will keep our eye on it, okay? So, WandaVision. One of my biggest issues with WandaVision was the fact that the ending felt super rushed and completely lackluster. I didn't have a clear understanding of what was going on with Wanda. Where was she at? Why does she go from wanting to break the spell to not wanting to break the spell to then being willing to break the spell and say goodbye to her whole family? And I didn't understand, like, if she's going to just be okay with saying goodbye to the whole family, why is it that her kids are teased in the post-credit scene of WandaVision? Like, so she's willing to let them go, but attracted or desiring them so badly that you showed in the post-credit scene to show that she wants them. From what we understand, in the movie Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Delays, that she will be going after her children. That's a big crux of it. Okay, that's apparently supposed to be a big crux of it. When I was originally watching that episode, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what? I was like, what? I don't understand it. So it's all over the place. Here's the deal. Upon watching it again, especially with the context of what's going on, in the future now, it's obvious that they took 2 episodes and smashed them together into 1 episode. And the one really important thing that is just not given enough time to breathe as a concept is that the spell that Wanda did to create her children and to create Vision was a flawed spell. It was a spell that connected or attached her children and this Vision to this horror, right? So the manipulation of all these different people, the creation of Westview, was a horrible, horrible thing. The creation of her kids and the creation of Vision, arguably a good thing, a thing that she wanted. But she literally, you can't have one without the other. And so there was this, and it is talked about in the episode. It's like, there's this idea of giving all the power to Agatha so that she could correct the spell. And then Agatha's basically like, oh yeah, surprise, bitch, you can't correct the spell. It'll always be flawed. It's connected to this thing, right? So upon watching it with that concept in mind, there is more of basically Wanda being stuck between those 2 realities and not being sure what to do. And then the idea of shrinking it all down, of ending that spell and saying goodbye to the family. She wants to take the kids home, actually say goodbye to them. She has this understanding that she can't have the kids that she'd made with the spell or brought in with the spell and have the world of Westview. And so she's in a really like weird spot. I really think had the original plan of it being 2 episodes and you really lingering on that idea a little bit more would have done a lot more for me in understanding that and being able to see where Wanda is at. At the end of the series, she's basically saying, I don't understand this power. Like, I don't understand the power of the Scarlet Witch. Okay? And so there's basically 2 main things that were rushed together that needed more of a separation. Number 1, what is the Scarlet Witch? Why is it talked about in the Darkhold? What's going on there? That should have been a little bit more spelled out. And also the idea that Wanda's spell was flawed and she could not have the kids and that vision without continuing to torture these people. Okay? So those 2 concepts really do require more of a fleshing out. However, especially in the context of, like, you look at that Darkhold thing, which, by the way, let me actually just pull this up for you. This is crazy. I'll pull this up for you and I'll show you guys. I think it's pretty fascinating in the context of what we think we know now about the show. Get you all the way to the post-credit. Whoa, what the hell? Oh, it's making me play all the way back there. Take it all the way to the posty, to the post-credit scene. Let me show you guys something. Slight spoilers, potential of spoilers, for Doctor Strange. I want you to look here. What are these around her? First of all, she's studying the Darkhold, right? But what are these things around her? They look like different Earths, bro. Like, you can't see them so much. Maybe I can bring the research screen down so you can get a better look at it. I don't know if you can fully see it, but go back and look at this for yourself. These look like planets. These look like Earths. And there's even like ideas of them like spiraling off. And I think she's beginning to understand concepts of the multiverse. You know what I mean? And in some ways they look like the planets themselves look like they have a similar design to the Sanctum and the ideas of the Sanctum and stuff like that, right? But regardless, very interesting, right? And she hears the voice while studying the Darkhold. And I have this really big theory about how all of this is sort of tying together. You know what I mean? And it's pretty wild. I will talk a little bit about it in a video I'm going to hopefully get done later in the day, talking about Eternals and that tweet and how I think it all ties together, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. You know what I mean? Can we talk about how gorgeous she is? Of course. Yeah, she's a total babe. She's a total babe. So I think the honest feelings I have about WandaVision is that, yeah, I probably went a little too hard on it. You know what I mean? I probably went a little too hard on it, just being real. But also, I don't think the complaints that I had were unfounded. I think the reality is this. They, and the producers even talked about this, they took 2 episodes. That finale was supposed to be 2 episodes, and they smashed it together. I think they smashed it together, and I think they also left some things ambiguous. And the reason they left it ambiguous is because they were actually changing stuff for Doctor Strange. So they were like currently doing rewrites and reworking Doctor Strange. Therefore, they were leaving things a little bit more ambiguous when it comes to WandaVision. So that's just kind of my feelings on it. Just wanted to kind of bring that up and talk about it. So, anyways, let's get into Q&A, ladies and gentlemen. Today's stream and mostly all of our content is brought to you by the NERDVENGERS, the incredible people you see in chat with a badge next to their name. They keep the lights on here. They allow us to continue to make the content, to continue to make these streams and do fun stuff for the community. You get a ton of benefits for being a NERDVENGER. The badge that grows over time, gets different colors, access to different parts of the tower that are only for the NERDVENGERS, behind the scenes stream, 20% off our Teespring merch, all the emojis, and it makes you feel a little taller. It makes you a little bit more of a baller, and it makes that good girl want to call you. Results may vary, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Let's get into the Q's and the A's. I'm going to get through a lot of these super chats. Thank you guys so much for the support. As always, we'll hang out in chat for a little bit, and then I got to get it out of here. I want to work on the Eternals video and see what the hell is going on with these delays. You know what I mean? So, Big Stevie says with a $10 holla, very generous, says, while I get we all wanted all the trailers, they literally told us only one trailer and the rest were first looks, which is exactly what we got. We just wanted them to be lying, but much love. Yeah, I think that's fair, Stevie. I do think, though, that I made the right choice by not streaming through the whole thing. Look, it's just not a well put together presentation, in my opinion. Like, maybe it's serviceable in some other context. I feel like the big gap between that is like what they advertise it as, what they want it to be, and then what they actually made it. So, I don't know, man. I legitimately think last year's DC Fandome was better, more interesting, and we had more fun. But, you know, to each their own. Pretty Nikki with a $5 hello says, I'm still on a high from the Batman trailer. I'm so pumped for this movie. Also, my friend, take my money. Thank you so much, Pretty Nikki. And yeah, that Batman trailer, like, bruh, like, talk about silencing the haters. Holy shit. Looks good. Looks real good. Josh I says, I got a split. Keep up the great work, Josh. I'll catch the replay after I take my kids to the zoo. But first, take my money, brother. Hey, thank you so much, man. I hope you guys are having fun at the zoo with the kids. That sounds like a good time, man, with the youngins. So appreciate you, man. Much love to you. Star Wars Obsession says, Josh, Hollywood strike is still very possible. We are not out of the woods on the IATSE strike. Vote to ratify still needed. Members not happy. Yeah, I appreciate the perspective. I think we touched on that a little bit earlier in the show. So much love to you, man. We'll keep an eye on it. Please keep me updated, and I appreciate the support. Kendall says, would it behoove LMAO? Ooh, that's one of my favorite words, bro. Making fun of my vernacular. Making fun of my lexicon. Yeah, I've read a couple books. Anyway, DC, to just come out and say there is not continuity. Yeah, I probably would, actually. At least for now. I feel like DC does better with standalones. Yeah, I think you're right, man. I think you're right. But that's the thing. It's like, what do? You're telling us one thing and you're telling us the other thing. All right, look. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to necessarily make this point because I know it'll trigger some people. Trigger warning. Trigger warning. Kendall made me do this. Blame Kendall, not me. Okay. Here's the thing that's just a little bit, I find it just a little bit ironic about the situation with DC. The Batman is clearly the most hyped up, dopest thing, right? I would just like to point out that the Batman, at base, has some similarities between the Snyderverse. It is darker. It is grittier. It is more realistic. I just find it weird and ironic that DC's most prized shit, the stuff that they're like the most hyped up about, it shares so many qualities with the Snyderverse. Okay, I've made my point. Chris says with a very generous $10 holla, says, all of the concepts for these DC films sound dope AF. Unfortunately, I just don't trust Warner Brothers to follow through on execution. It's hard for me to get fully hyped up for everything except the Batman. I agree with you, Chris. I personally feel the same way. Execution is king. I feel like they haven't executed. I feel like there's a lot of wacky stuff going on over there. I'd much prefer there to be a full-on plan. However, it's impossible for them to get from where they are to where they need to be without a little bit of friction, without a little bit of getting through the weeds. You know what I mean? So it's to be expected that we would be going through some of these situations. So, Chris, I appreciate the support. I get what you're saying. I feel the same way. But I think, let's try to give him a fair shake. You know what I mean? Let's try to give him a fair shake. T-Love, a.k.a. the Silver Lurker, with a very generous $20 holla, says, not going to lie, I turned on the DC Fandome stream for 7 seconds, and it was some scruffy-looking dude in a low-quality Zoom call, and that just wasn't it. Glad you broke it all down in the stream, so now I can actually get excited. Hey, for sure, man. I appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Yeah, there was a lot of that. There was a lot of just and the pacing was weird too, right? Like, it's not just the Zoom calls, but it would be like, let's get super hyped up about The Flash, or like, let's get super hyped up about Peacemaker. Here's James Gunn on a Zoom call. You know what I mean? Like, it just, the pacing I didn't feel like was handled all that well. So I appreciate the support, and I agree with you. Let's see here. Constantinotis, bruh. Is this, you're going to get either really offended or laugh really hard right now. Is this a real name, or is this designed to make me slip up? Constantinos Qualaris. I'm going to just call you KK, a.k.a. Kathleen Kennedy, with a very generous $5 holla. It says, Marvel just changed their release schedule and have taken out 2 Marvel releases. Yeah, we talked about that. Ugh, it's rough, bro. It is rough, but we did talk about that a little bit. Star Wars Obsession is talking about the Hollywood strike. Totally, man. I think you might have sent that twice, or maybe you might have sent that 3 times, brother. Careful on your button there. You don't want to spend the extra money you don't have to. The real Jesse Lee Reed says with a $5 holla, says the new Batmobile is fire. Makes all the previous film iteration of the Batmobile look stupid AF. Hey, when it was tearing through the streets, it does look pretty cool. I clowned on that Batmobile design quite a bit, right? But in action, looks pretty dope. So, hey man, maybe I was wrong for once about something. You know what I mean? Star Wars Obsession says, hashtag IATSE strike in all caps. I hear you, and it could be the reason that these delays are happening. It could absolutely be the case that that's what's going on. Stevie says, makes me think they are moving some of the Untitled movies, Blade, to Disney Plus as series instead. Interesting you say that. I've heard some people say that Blade will get a movie and a series, actually, which is kind of interesting. I don't know, man. I don't know. Star Wars Obsession says, IATSE strike is still looming, and the studio feel it. The deal is in danger because the members may vote to not ratify the contract. Let's talk, Josh. Indeed, we absolutely should. Matthew Walter, welcome to the NERDVENGERS. You are a NERDVENGER now. Welcome. Make your way around the tower. Don't mind Susan, Chet, Frank, William, Bob, all these crazy dudes that are working here. Don't mind them. Just, flash your badge to tell them to shut their mouth. Diamond Joe with a $2 holla says, sending those good vibes this morning, my man. Thank you so much, brother. I really do appreciate that. And then, Alan, your question for some reason is not pepping up here. So let me see if I can pull it up here. Okay, here we go. Alan Ewald, member for 6 months, says, just noticed I've been a NERDVENGER for 6 months. LOL, this is the best YouTube channel, and I'm glad to be a part of it with the NERDVENGER symbol. Thank you so much. Michael, did I miss your super? My bad. Let me check another screen here. It's not popping up on that screen, but let me check this other screen. Let me see. I'll try to find it. I shall try to find it. By the way, Nerd Theory is on. Nerd Theory is on tonight. The Nerd Theory is on. that was pretty bad. But yeah, check it out. I think we're going to talk about Palpatine coming back. Theory did a big video about it. I think it's pretty wild, so I want to see what's going on with that. Oh, here we go. Michael Phantom. My bad, brother. Got you right here. says, my issue with the fandom was they did not announce any new projects. Everything they showed has been announced and known about for some time. I agree with you. That was part of my bummer as well. If you think about what was the most hyped stuff from last year's DC Fandom, right? Snyder Cut, Flash movie, the Batman, Black Adam. What was the most hyped stuff for this year's DC Fandom? All that minus Snyder. It's fair. Now, to be extra fair, you know, we did have a pandy, and we did have all this other crap happen, right? So you can't necessarily hold it all against them. But again, how can they get from where they are to where they want to be without going through some of this stuff? I agree with you. It's obvious. You know what I mean? And I clowned hard on them. You know what I mean? Like, I clowned hard on them on Saturday. But a couple of days removed from it, you know, I was kind of just thinking through it. Yeah, man, like they've got to go through this. One would hope that maybe Zaslav and Discovery Warner would be able to come in and right the ship in a lot of ways, because I think the whole thing is still very messy. So we can hope for that. But, dude, you're justified in your beliefs. You're justified in your beliefs. I feel as though that's a pretty common takeaway from many people. All right, let's hang out in the chat for a little bit, see what y'all be saying. What's on your mind, ladies and gentle beings? Shame Cat, very interesting name with a $5 holla, says, do you think the canceled MCU film has to do with Ryan Reynolds stepping back from his movies? I think it could be connected, but not in a causal sense. I don't think that Reynolds stepping away caused the delays. But there could be a lot of other things that are all happening at once that are all a part of the same thing that is probably going to delay stuff, probably going to make actors and people working in the industry a little bit uncomfortable. I think, like I said, we're still in you know what? It's weird. It's like, dude, Hollywood and a lot of businesses and a lot of people, because of just the way things work, they just had to go. And there was no real break, even during Rona. A lot of people were just writing or working on projects, and then it was like, bro, let's go. Let's make these movies. How do we make this happen given the current constraints, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, it's wild. I don't know what's going on exactly. We're going to keep an eye on it, you know? Keep an eye on it. He was saying the big musical movie with Will Ferrell is one of the most challenging that he's ever done. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, and hey, could just need a break. You know what I mean? Could just make a break for sure. Is the PS5 real or an urban myth? Bro. I'm trying to get one too. I told y'all I was trying to get one. Good luck. You know, might be a rough little holiday season. Might be a rough little holiday season. We'll see. I am excited though to get the Christmas ornaments up in the tower. You know, have the tree up in the tower. You know, make Susan do all the decorating for no additional pay. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun. What else is on your mind, guys? I'm going to hang for like 5 more minutes. Then I got to get out of here. Reminder, we will be streaming at 1 p.m. for the NERDVENGERS. Come on by, man. It's a group hug. Let's meet with all the family in the living room. I want to talk about just vibes. I want to talk about respect. I want to talk about, you know, what are we working on as a community? You know, we can have fun. We can get out of hand. But we must always come back to the place of, why are we here? What is the NERDVENGERS about? What are we trying to do here? You know what I mean? And to me, the NERDVENGERS has always been about people coming together to get nerdy about dope, nerdy stuff that they love. Okay, so the focus of what we should be doing is having fun with these nerdy things. Now, people have fun in different ways. People have different opinions about different things. Totally understand that. But at the end of the day, as long as we can be respectful and come together and see the differences, but not dwell on the differences, people should be able to have fun together and get along together. You know what I mean? So we're going to meet in the living room. We're going to kick Susan out, and we'll chat it up at 1 p.m. I definitely want to know what y'all's got to say. Callisto, very generous, $10 holla, says, gotta grab some nerd coin since I'm actually at a morning stream. By the way, I appreciate that you're willing to re-examine your perceptions. Oh, missed some of it. And then maybe even in your opinion. Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I think a lot about this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot about this stuff. I think a lot about, like, look, Saturday, there's a couple of different ways you could take it, right? Like, in all seriousness, and I'll talk more about this in the stream, but it's like the one stance could be, I'm just making content. I'm just being real. I'm just, speaking my mind, and everybody that's got a problem with it, fuck them, right? That is such a close-minded, really adolescent way to, I think, not only think about one's conduct, but also one's perspective, right? So for me, although in a sense, a lot of that stuff, Stevie, you should watch it at least a little bit. Although you might turn it off. The skit at the beginning might turn you off a little bit. But in all seriousness, we had some fun. I don't know, Stevie. You know yourself better than me. So I don't know. But, sort of getting back to Callisto's point, I think that it is, I thought a long time ago that the idea, like, how do you build, like, a community, especially now in today's time, everything's super, triggery. Everybody has different beliefs and everybody's very vocal. How do you build a community of eclectic perspectives and bring them all together? Well, frankly, it's just not easy, and it requires actually caring. So because I actually care, because Stevie is not just a name in a chat, but he's actually like a human being that I care a lot about, that we've been through shit together, we've had discussions, open forum, because I care, it can't just be like my way or the highway, or the performance is just the performance. It's more than that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we'll talk more about that later. Yeah. Let's see here. Jensen Baker says, I'm really confused. I only see the new film dates on Murphy's Multiverse. I can't find the press release. Yeah, they're probably not posting the actual press release. Everything is about date 2 weeks ago at the latest. Look, man, I don't really have I gotta be honest with you. I don't have a answer for you on that. I don't know what is happening right now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. So I'm just going to try to keep an eye on it. Could just be that it could just be that things are just tough and that they need more time. It could be connected to the strike. I don't know. I know particularly Love and Thunder, from what I've heard, not going that great. Like, not bad, but like Taika might have went real Taika. And I think Feige is currently reining him in, from what I understand. So the film has done a lot of reshooting, and I think there may be some issues there. But they can work it out. They're very good at what they do. You know what I mean? So I don't know what's going on. It's pretty wild, though. It's pretty wild. So maybe we'll talk more about that tomorrow. I'm actually sure we will. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. So, all right, ladies and gentle beings, I am going to get out of here. Fantastic stream today. What a great way to kick off the week. A lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. That was pretty crazy. Learning about the delay together. A lot of fun stuff. Much appreciation to you guys. Thank you guys so much. And as I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Man, I'm just gonna I'll tell you a little thing here. So my thing, and again, we're just gonna have to wait. I actually think all of these delays are because of Doctor Strange. I think that movie is so important that it's literally everything's being delayed because of that film. I could be wrong. I missed a VV drop. Mother lovers, mother. Anyway, that's what I think. But we'll keep an eye on it. Probably talk about it tomorrow. Hopefully more info comes out. But anyway, see ya.